Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today, we're going to be flipping through Mad Magazine number 85, released March 1964. Our price, 25 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before I do, I got some news. And this is actually like somewhat real news. If you want to support the channel, please remember to hit like and subscribe. Now, that's not all, okay? And I am going to thank the patrons, but then I do have a real announcement. If you want to support me in another way, beyond hitting like and subscribe, or commenting, which are great ways to help, the best ways to help, arguably, you can support me on patreon.com/flippinthrough. It's right down there in the video description. And I have a big thanks to those people who are supporting me on Patreon: David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Ed Meisinger, Doug Guilford, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead, Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Kyle Bridget. Why do I have an extra big thanks? Because I've been stockpiling the money that has been coming in through Patreon, and I just bought a new camera. Well, I bought a used one off eBay. But I'm going to be replacing this one, this old DSLR, which can only broadcast in 720p. I don't know if you realized, but we're not getting all the P's. This is 1080, which you see right now. When I switch to the overhead, that's only 720. So I expect, they're not like it's not like the greatest camera ever. It's not 4K or something, but it's going to be better. It's going to zoom better. And I'm really excited for this, and it will have autofocus, so I won't have to do that thing where I'm like, wait. So I'm super excited for that, and a big thank you to the patrons, because I couldn't have done that without you guys. With that, if you want to flip along with me, in the video description also, I know sometimes I forget, I don't mean to though, is a link to Doug Guilford's madcoversite.com with this issue, because sometimes I leave things out, and oh god dang it, sometimes I leave things out, and you might have a question about it. You might be like, wait a second, who wrote that, who drew that? And you'll be able to find out that answer if I skip over it. madcoversite.com. Friend of the show, not a sponsor though. That's it's just a good resource, and if you don't use it, you're a fool. Anyway, I like this issue. I'll be honest with you. The issues under 100, I have slim pickings, so I just kind of had to pick what I have. And this has like Alfred E. Newman and Lincoln. That's his name. Albert Lincoln. What is his name? Abraham Lincoln. Oh, listen, it's been a really long week. I started school, so it was the first week of school, so I'm a tad bit exhausted, if I'm being honest with you. But it's a lovely Norman Mingo cover, a cover I don't totally understand. I mean, I know I almost called him Alfred Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was shot in the head. Is that what this is referring to? Is Alfred? It's so hard to switch between the two names. Is this a mock assassination of our former president, the man who freed the slaves? Avis can't afford dirty plugs. Avis rental cars. But we can afford sneaky plugs. Like these ads. Ever notice how we cry the blues and tell how hard we try to make like the underdog? We got a clever reason for doing this. It's an old American tradition to root for the underdog. We figure you'll feel sorry for us and give us your rent-a-car business. That way, we might be the #1. Then we can afford to be independent and rent unwashed cars with cigarette butts in the ashtrays and worn wipers and dry batteries. And if you complain, we can afford to say nuts to you, buddy. Right now it hurts. Right now it hurts to be #2. Lovely vital features. Here we have, I don't know, that looks like Alan Sherman. Alan Sherman is like the precursor to Weird Al Yankovic. He made silly songs. Camp Granada, that was one of the big ones. That looks like Alan Sherman yelling at the Gill Man. The Gill Man. I forget what he's called. The creature from the Black Lagoon. But I think they referred to him as Gill Man on set. I'm going to say that's Bob Clark. This one, the minute after that TV show is over, that's Mort Drucker. This, the college crowd, this is odd. That's not Lighter Side of. That looks like Dave Berg art, does it not? Why is it kind of... It feels like it's dark on this side. There, that's better. Future educational comic pamphlets. Oh, this is going to be tough because it's somebody imitating another person's style. Who would do that? 1964? Maybe Clark again? I don't know. It wouldn't be Wally Wood. Here, the Mad Hospital Primer. That seems like it might be Jack Davis. And then a strange interlude with Hazy. Possibly another Mort Drucker. We'll see. I feel very out of practice. I'm not sure why. Oh, look at ownership. The statement of ownership, management, and circulation. This is my favorite thing, you guys. Longtime viewers of the show will know that I unironically like this quite a bit. So this is the previous year. So when did this come out? When did I say? 64. So this is probably for 1963. Total copies printed. 1.8 million a month? Holy smokes. I think the high point was in the 70s, but I didn't think they got... Man, I must be wrong. I don't know. But the total number of copies actually distributed, 1.4 million. So that would be to newsstands. Wow. Wait, no, newsstands is 1.3. And then, okay. Wow. That's insane, right? That's a crazy amount. Yeah, what else is here? Look at, Mad paperback covers. All right, get 8 full color covers like this one, free with the latest Mad annual Mad Follies. So I guess you could wrap this around your Mad paperbacks. You could make it look like you're reading Norman Mailer. Norman Mailer did a really weird thing. I remember, was it The Naked and the Dead? Or was it something else where he never actually wrote, he would write, people would be saying fuck, but he wouldn't write it. He would spell it like fuggin'. But it was to the point where it's like, no, there had to be some like Midwestern people who actually said, like pronounced the K in fuck. But this is, I am terribly embarrassed by all the naked girls and the dead bodies on the covers of mystery books like this one. So I'm hiding it and pretending to read Norman Mailer. That's lovely. And then, of course, my favorite, another one of my, I have a lot of favorites, the suicide humor. Why kill yourself just because you missed the last issue on the newsstand? Subscribe to MAD. Wait, now that I think about it, I re-upped my subscription, but they never sent, I sent in the card, but I never got it. I'm a little annoyed right now. I'm a little perturbed. Manny, get your ghoul. Is this Alan Sherman? Maybe I'll read it. Maybe that's what I should try to do. Years ago, Broadway musicals were all about sweet, nice young people living in their happy-go-lucky, wonderful world. Today, however, they're making musicals about thieves, Oliver, juvenile delinquents, West Side Story, gangsters and gamblers, guys and dolls, and the worst of all, business executives, how to succeed in business without really trying. Which makes us wonder, why hasn't anyone done a show about the most unlikely people of all, mainly monsters? To show Broadway producers what can be done, here is Mad's version of a monster musical called Manny, Get Your Ghoul. It's a play on Annie, Get Your Gun. I don't know if I have a lot of musical theater fans here. Leave a comment down below with your favorite musical. Any Get Your Gun is great. Anything you can do, I can do better. Writer Frank Jacobs, artist Jack Rickard. So I screwed that up. What did I said it would be, what's his name? Bob Clark. Holy smokes, so I love these illustrations of these guys. Like the Wolf Man and the Gill Man. He's drinking out of Alfred Hitchcock's head. Wow. This is amazing. Like these are really fun illustrations. Look at this Bela Lugosi. That is such a good... I really like... it's like... All of these look... they're caricatures because it's not... Like, what is a caricature? Any drawing is a caricature. It's not like a photorealistic one, but it's a sincere one, right? It's not like totally cartoonish. And they're wonderful. I really like that, especially that Bela Lugosi one. That's really, really cool. That looks lovely, lovely, lovely. Here we have famous protest campaigns. This is Bob Clark, right? Yes, it is. With writers Frank Jacobs and Stan Hart. Gutenberg perfects the printing press. 2468. We don't want a printing plate. This shop unfair to scribes. The pen is mightier than the press. Gutenberg, we hate your type. Oh my goodness. You know what's funny about that is that actually there were protests against Gutenberg, weren't there? Because he was maybe not protests in this sense, in like the modern sense, but people were upset. Like when the printed word came out, people thought it was going to damage like young people's minds when like they would read stories, it would affect their memory. Not unlike when comic books came out and people protested that. Not unlike when video games came out, right? And video games are making the children commit school shootings. Doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah. People don't like change. That's a fact. Here's 1774. Lafayette arrives in America. Frenchy, go home. America for Americans. Pose number 41. Daughters of the French and Indian Wars. You can't trust foreigners. Oh my God. Look at this. This illustration is just insane. Yes. It is exactly what you think. They'll ruin our neighborhoods, not to mention our daughters. The French, their reputation precedes them. America has 300,000 people. That's enough already. We can win the revolution without you. Is that true? We've got plenty of great generals right now, like Benedict Arnold. At a matinee. Hey, you two, break it up. How am I supposed to see the movie with your stupid heads together? Blocking the view like that. They were Siamese twins. So how did they turn around? Like, oh, they turned their head. Never mind. And the Mad Beastlies with the great Paul Coker. Keeping it simple. There's the round robin. Oh, the flunky. It's a flunking monkey. The bugaboo. Crow cuss. These are like just like the horrifying cliches. Their simplicity, they're just brilliant in their simplicity. Pantaloon, Flagon, there's the boondoggle, Apex. It's so dumb. I love it. This is the type of thing right here, like, as a kid, you can read this and be amused by this. I wonder how deliberate MAD was at the outset to have that balance of wordless cartoons that people could enjoy. Essentially children can enjoy them without having the vocabulary or the attention span to get through some of the wordier things. Or the things like this, the minute after that TV show is over, the things that just aren't that interesting to them. I'm curious how deliberate they were in that, because it is such a perfect balance. Joe Orlando is an artist that I quite like. Oh, shit. I just read this. Oh, Sergio Aragones wrote this, and he has such a great sense of humor. My word. That poor cat. I mean, so this one is just, this one's mostly about just famous TV shows at the time. Gary Moore Show, To Tell the Truth, Candid Camera. And you'll never know when somewhere someone will come up to you, come up when you least expect it and say, smile, you're on Candid Camera. I got some pictures of you, Mr. Funt. That confidential magazine will gladly pay me plenty for. If you don't, you'll notice that when our Candid Camera caught you, you weren't exactly smiling. It's irony. It's a series of ironies. Here is Spy vs. Spy. I don't believe I've ever read this one. He sneaks up, leaps. This is a very good one. I like that. And this is early on, right? I mean, this is 25 issues in. So like maybe 3 or 4 years. Not that early on. That's old hat for him now. All right. So it is just simply the lighter side of the college crowd. Artist and writer, Dave Berg. So I was correct when I said that it was Dave Berg. And, you know, it's Dave Berg. You know what I do like that he does? And it's this one. We'll read this whole one. Okay, Liebman, we caught you this time, you sneak. What are you trying to do? Louse up the class average? Wreck the curve? One bad egg like you can spoil it for the rest of us. You can take the fun out of going to college. Guys like you should be expelled from school. Please, fellas, give me another chance. I swear I won't do it again. On my honor, I promise I won't study anymore. But what he does, what I really like is when these guys are like berating him, he does all of these motion lines around them, and it does add like some weird intensity, especially like the way he draws those faces with the real simple lines. I don't know. There is a lot to like about Dave Berg, even if I don't always like the finished product. See, I've gotten soft in my old age. I get sleepy and then I get soft and I start saying nice things about Dave Berg. The Sunday Drive. This is another very wordy Don Martin one. Don't know that I like wordy Don Martin. I like the stuff that I don't have to read. Sometimes I pause because a viewer once commented that what they do is they pause the video and then read it, which I'm astonished if they're able to do that. But I always kind of think about that guy, so I always I try to pause for a moment when he's where you can hit pause on my pause, thus reading it. What is this? This is one of those things that is just so strangely put together. This right here is the preamble for this beautiful page. And it's just, I don't know, something about numbers. I'm sure it's very funny if I read that preamble, but I'm not going to read the preamble. I love these Spy vs. Spy. Here we go. What was this? Oh, man, I knew it. I knew I should have guessed Wallace Wood. But do you know what? I thought he was out by this time. I thought he was done at MAD by this time, so I guessed wrong. Because he always does this the best. Future educational comic pamphlets. And you have this. He was so good at aping other styles. And you know what's fun about this is he'll like this. Even the signatures are a joke. I am left for Joe Palooka. Who actually wrote Joe Palooka? I forget. Here, let's Joe Palooka Comics. So it was... Oh, Mo Leff. Mo Leff is probably who he's making fun of right now. Because it was Ham Fisher, and then Mo Leff was one of the writers. So I am left. Versus, I'm guessing he signed it M. Leff. Anyway, here's Dick Tracy. The Society of Plastic Surgeons presents Dick Tracy in an important public service pamphlet. Well, if it ain't Nanette Fabre. What's new in showbiz, Nanette? That's one on you, Chief. I'm Dick Tracy. This pert little button nose was given to me by one of the many plastic surgeons valiantly fighting to make the world safe for facial improvement and outlandish fees. Why aren't we friends, Tracy? Why am I always trying to kill you instead of clasping you on the chest in warm masculine camaraderie? Tell me, Brow, have you ever thought of seeing your friendly family plastic surgeon? My plastic surgeon? Yes, he can rid your forehead of those ugly bumps and give you something you've always wanted. Handsome bumps. Oh, my goodness. Here's Popeye. The United States Department of Defense presents Popeye. If yous wants to serve your country, if you wants to seize the world, if yous wants job security, if yous wants retirement benefits, join the U.S. Army. I joined the U.S. Navy, and look at me. I get into silly fights all the time. I talk lousy English. I eats nothing but spinach, and I goes out with skinny, ugly broads. Oh, my goodness. It's lovely. God, Wally Wood is so good. Who wrote this, though? Did Wally Wood write it, too? No, Larry Siegel wrote it. And Larry Siegel deserves much of the credit. A TV ad we'd like to see. Another beautiful illustration by Joe Orlando. The Mad Hospital Primer. Artist, George Woodbridge. Writer, Stan Hart. This is another one I got wrong. I thought that this illustration could be, who did I say, Jack Davis? But I was wrong. The operating room. See the patient on opening day. He is awakened at 6 a.m. for his operation. Operations always take place in the morning. Afternoons are reserved for funerals. In the operating room, everyone wears a mask. This prevents infections. This also prevents the patient from discovering that his doctor overslept and didn't show up. A third-year medical student will perform the operation instead. See how nervous the patient gets just because the doctor asks, is the appendix on the right side or the left side? Don't know, I did like a little kid voice. Hospital food. Hospitals are noted for perfectly balanced meals. On the one hand, no grease. On the other hand, no taste. You can play fun games with hospital food. Games like fish or fowl. It is simple to play. Just close your eyes, take a bite, and guess. Was it fish or fowl? Usually it is hash, so you're right either way. The real story behind the news. Artist Bob Clark. Yeah, these paintings are lovely that he does. A third Spy versus Spy, this time with the Gray Spy. I love that Gray Spy. Oh no, she stops them. Put down your weapons, boys. Let's smoke a peace pipe. Oh my god. Oh, it's hooked up to the tailpipe. That is brilliant. Strange interlude with Hazy. I don't know. Is that Hazel? Was Hazel a show about a nurse? I don't remember. I don't know. Not that I don't remember. I don't know. The hunter. At last I have it, a moose call that cannot be resisted. Only one sensuous blast from this cow horn, and every bull within earshot will come running. A week. There we go. This was a time before the MAD fold-in, so we don't have it. We have the Berg are coming, and it's an ad for Dave Berg looks at the USA. This capsule made $45,895,252.38 so far. Photographed by Lester Placebo Krause. I'm not going to read any more about that. This is a quick issue, and a very good issue. It's hard to come down harshly on any of these super old ones because they were just about at their peak. Hey, I know I said this last week. I'm almost certain I did. I have my favorite era, but I do think that there is an objective best era, and I think it gets more towards me late 60s, I think, of the magazine. I consider the comics to be something else entirely. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have not already, please hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below. If you have any suggestions for future MAD issues to flip through, I do take suggestions. You might have to wait because I'm now getting into a cycle thing where I'm going through each, group of 100. But if you have ones, let me know in the comments below. Share this video out if you're in a Facebook group or on Twitter and you think that they would like it. Do that. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Toodaloo.